One of my favorite ways to begin a video, welcome to Tokyo. Right now I'm at Tokyo Station. I just arrived here from Kanazawa in Grand Class on the Shinkansen. If you haven't seen that video yet, I highly suggest you check it out. Probably the nicest train ride that I've ever been on. Linked in the description. For today's video though, I have a very specific function that I want to document rather than an actual need to get somewhere. Shinkansen, or bullet trains, have 2 or 3 classes of service, depending on the route. Grand Class, which is the equivalent of first, but that's just on select trains. Nearly all trains though have a business class product called the Green Card, as well as ordinary class, and today we're going to be doing a comparison of the latter two. Before we take a deep dive, let me welcome any of you that may be new to the channel. My name is Kevin and I am the Flip Flop Traveler. I'm here to give you honest content about flights, hotels, and trains. This video is self-funded and Japan Rail had no idea that I'd be filming, though honestly, Shinkansen experiences are so by the book, it probably wouldn't make a difference if they did. Today you're going to get my own personal opinion and nothing more, based on my own unique experience. Without further ado, let's get into it. Japan Rail, or JR for short, is made up of a bunch of different divisions. Today we're focusing on JR Central, since they operate the country's busiest route, the Tokaido Shinkansen, which links Japan's 4 most populous cities: Tokyo, Yokohama, Nagoya, and Osaka. To buy your tickets, you can easily just rock up to the station and buy one at the green ticket machines or at the ticket office. The trains are so frequent that you will surely find a seat. But if you don't want to risk it, you can buy through JR Central's app, Smart EX. I'll be honest, setting up the app is a little bit convoluted, but once you're registered, it's really pretty easy. If you did buy your tickets through the app, you can then head to the green machines to print your tickets. Keep in mind, you can only buy Shinkansen tickets 1 month in advance. Now, before we get into the different classes on offer, I'd be remiss if I skipped over one glaring fact. I'll put up some train stats as I get into this. The scale of the Tokaido Line, which runs 18 hours per day, is absolutely insane. Feel free to have a look here and count for yourselves. This is the daily timetable. On a daily basis, there are around 350 trains departing Tokyo just on this line. Each train carries 1,300 passengers, so we're talking about nearly 500,000 passengers per day. Just for the sake of comparison, between Tokyo's 2 airports and Osaka's 2 airports, there are approximately 52 flights per day. Let's pretend each flight is flown by a very high-density wide-body jet, which they're not, but let's pretend. That's 20,800 passengers between the cities per day. During the busiest periods of the day and year, Tokaido Shinkansen trains run as frequently as every 3 minutes. Let me remind you, these trains go nearly 200 miles per hour. This is all on the same track. Okay, the dramatic, I can't believe reality is reality bit is over. Let's talk about this experience specifically. 2 pieces of advice to begin your journey. Don't get here early, and buy an ikiben before boarding the train. Ideally from one of the shops before the Shinkansen gates, so you have a better selection. Tokyo Station is massive, and simply due to the layout, you're going to need a few minutes to navigate it. It's all well signed, but still leave a few minutes. So I'd say, if you've never been through the station, arrive 40 minutes before your departure. This gives you plenty of time to get lost once or twice, and buy an ikiben, and still arrive at your gate 15 minutes before departure. Unless you're going up to the platform to train spot like me, don't even consider going up there until 5 to 10 minutes before your departure time. It's just not necessary, and depending on the time of the day, you might just be getting in the way. My train is about to arrive. You can see the cleaning crews waiting at each door in order to quickly hop on and clean the entire train in less than just a couple of minutes. This is an N700S model train set, operating as the Kodama 725 with a final destination of Nagoya. On Tokaido Line trains, you'll find the Kodama have the most frequent stops. The Hikari is a semi-express with fewer stops, and then the Nozomi with the least number of stops. To get where we're going now, I need the local train. So we all know what happens if you click like on this video and subscribe to the channel. But do you know what happens if you don't? You may never see me again. So if you enjoy this style of content, be sure to click all the buttons. If you're interested in a peek of the inner workings of the channel, or just need some travel advice, be sure to also check out my Patreon. Whatever you do, thanks for being here and watching right now. And here is our green car. On the way down to Shin Fuji, we'll be in green class, which is surprisingly quite brown inside. The umbrella of N700 train sets have been around since 2007, but these newer N700Ss were launched in 2020. They're nearly identical to each other inside and out. Green car seats are in a 2x2 configuration featuring this snazzy 1987 throwback upholstery. Due to the great amount of legroom, most rows line up nicely with one of the windows. Each seat reclines, has a power plug, and a movable but fixed footrest. The footrest can also be flipped open, but cannot be folded away. I'd say most taller passengers won't be a fan of it because of this. By the way, if you're watching this video in July of 2024, be sure to take my semi-annual viewer survey. The link is near the top of the description below, or you can scan the QR code now. You can get a good idea of the level of recline here. It doesn't look like much, but the seat also slides a bit forward, so it's pretty comfortable to be in. Overall, these seats aren't much unlike domestic first class seats in the US, comfort-wise. Each seat has a small side table, which folds out of the armrest, and an all-important hook so you can hang your ikiben, of course. Overhead, there's open storage, which is deceptively spacious, and plenty large for any standard size carry-on bag. There are also luggage racks at the end of each car, along with restrooms, as is nicely shown on the seatback info. The majority of Shinkansen trains do have Wi-Fi these days, but the signal can be spotty or weak at times, though on these two rides it was working pretty well. We pulled out of the station exactly on time, so let's take a look at where we're actually going. As I said in my last video, my route today makes absolutely no sense. It would be the equivalent of flying from London to Paris via Moscow. We're going to be traveling over to Shin Fuji, indeed at the base of Mount Fuji, have a bit of a breather, and then take another train nearly all the way back to Tokyo, but disembark in Yokohama, where I'd be spending the night. The tray table is large and very sturdy for working, but if I had to criticize one thing, it's that if you're taller, your knees are going to hit the support frame. And here's my lunch for today. Note that I bought this in Tokyo Station, but I just thought that it would be a little bit cruel and unusual to make a Japanese train video without an ikiben featured inside. In case it matters, I am team chilled ikiben. The sound that the string makes pulling through the styrofoam self-heating bentos is my own personal melody from hell. If you know, you know. At the end of the car, you'll find luggage racks which have mechanisms to lock up your bag. A bit ironic since Japan is probably the only place on Earth where I just imagine it's not necessary. Just past them, you'll find the restrooms, which are split between unisex and men only. Sorry, ladies. Men only, by the way, because it's a tiny compartment with a urinal inside. At least though, everything was like new, spotless. Note that buy on board food service carts were discontinued on this line in 2023. For green car passengers, there is technically a mobile order option for some things on board, but I didn't see anything published about it on board, so perhaps it's only on longer express trains. Okay, I'll let you enjoy some views on the way to Fuji. Make sure to check out the insane speed of the Nozomi train blasting past us while we waited a minute in the station. The speed is one thing, but the vacuum-like force as it passes while standing still will startle the crap out of you for sure if you weren't expecting a train to pass. Keep in mind that the train that just passed in 5.5 seconds is a quarter-mile long. Okay, and here we are at Shin Fuji. The bullet train system was first conceived back in 1939, but came to fruition in service in 1964. Within 3 years, the system was already serving over 100 million passengers per year. The newest iteration of the Shinkansen is currently under construction on this very route, between Tokyo and Nagoya, and eventually onto Osaka. But the new route will be entirely maglev. The Japanese maglev train holds the world record for passenger rail speed at 603 km per hour, or 375 miles per hour. I should say that I've been on plenty of short flights that stayed around that speed. When launched, the new maglev will operate at speeds up to 505 km or 314 miles per hour. I'll let you explore the station a bit, which I actually ended up enjoying just for all the bells and jingles and trains passing by. The combined trip stats will also be coming up. If you're enjoying the Japan content, check out the playlist linked above and in the description below for all of my Japan flight, hotel, and train content. Also in the description, you'll find my next 5 videos to come out. Here's my train coming in now, the slightly older N700A model. By the way, if you're ever in one of these smaller local stations and you want to catch one of the express trains passing by on camera, just keep your eye on the station attendant who's going to be standing smack in the middle of the platform. Just before every train comes through, the station attendant will visually inspect the tracks. That's your cue. And here we are inside car number 11, in the ordinary class of service. Seats here are in a 2x3 pattern. I would say that these are just about on par with a tighter than normal economy plane seat. Something like a 787 or 737, but with loads of legroom. These seats are 43 centimeters or 17 inches wide, while the green car seats are around 47 centimeters or 18.5 inches wide. For a point of reference, 18.5 is the typical width of a premium economy seat. But in the green car, the armrests are fixed, whereas here, the middle one can be moved. While not quite as comfortable as the green car, I do prefer the aquamarine seat fabric. In the cheap seats, you'll have access to an itty-bitty air vent, which you can adjust ever so slightly. And all of these seats recline as well. On the wall down by your feet, you'll also find a single power outlet. The tray table is a decent size and sturdy again, but more so than in the green car, the under supports would have made the seat a bit awkward for my legs if someone was actually sitting next to me. Overhead, you'll find the same great storage that's in the green car. Bathrooms here are just as clean, but quite a bit smaller. So, the big question is the green car worth it? My answer is a resounding maybe. Midday off-peak travel like you saw today, there's a great chance that you won't have a neighbor, so maybe ordinary class is more than fine. But I would just recommend shopping around on the Smart EX app on the day that your tickets are released. Just from what I've seen, the ordinary fares seem to be just that, ordinary, whereas the green car fares often have a discount available if purchasing well in advance. Case in point, my discounted green car ticket was $32, and my non-discounted ordinary ticket for a shorter ride was $28. Whichever way you decide to go, you'll be comfortable because of the generous legroom and the clean and silent train interiors. It's just really pleasant to travel on the Shinkansen, no matter which class you're in. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this little comparison today. The score, it's a weird one. It's a bit of a mix between the green car and the ordinary car experience. Take it with a grain of salt. As always, leave any questions below in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss my twice weekly videos. I'll see you next time on board Starflyer, a Japanese regional carrier from Tokyo Haneda to Fukuoka. Oh, and as always, thanks for watching until the end.